Southern says goodbye to its head football coach.
President Trump hints at the possibility of running again while still contesting the election results. I'm Skyler Henry in Wilmington, Delaware, where President-elect Joe Biden is moving ahead and focused on the economy.
And how Broadway's costume designers are volunteering in the fight against COVID.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri Southern announces the school has relieved head football coach Jeff Sims of his coaching duties. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, an announcement today effectively ending the short-lived reign for head coach Jeff Sims. Sims spent just one active season at Missouri Southern after joining the program in November of 2018. The Lions finished with a 2-9 record in 2019 with Sims at the helm. The team was unable to get on the field this fall due to the pandemic. Now, Sims came to Missouri Southern after spending 4 years as the head coach at Garden City Community College. Linebackers coach Joe Batasso will serve as interim head coach through the spring. The university says it will begin a national search for a new head coach in the coming weeks. Well, if you've been holding on to the idea of warmer temps, it's time to let it go.
Let it go. I don't have my Frozen toy with me.
I know, Michael. I know it moved from your desk.
I know. Hey, that's painful to hear about Coach Sims with everything that's going on. Delightful gentleman. Had the opportunity to meet him a couple times, but at the same point in time too, with every change, there's also a new opportunity. And Joe Batasso with 4 state roots, great opportunity for him. So. Best of luck to Joe in his new role there at Missouri Southern. Tanya, like you said, the rain has not yet got to Fred G. Hughes Stadium in Joplin, but it is on its way as everything's working in right now from the south. It has already kind of dominated northeast Oklahoma through the course of the morning, and now we're really seeing it come down right on the Oklahoma-Kansas state line. That's going to track its way up toward Independence. Now, it's mostly going to stay as rain. You can tell everything down through central OK coming our way has maintained just pure rain form compared to, oh my goodness, look at that out west. We'll get to those, we'll get to those storm reports in just a little bit as far as what they've got coming out from the Freeman Health System sky camera. I want to point out a key factor right here, and that is our temperatures, as we're able to sit at 49 degrees from the Freeman Health System sky camera and feel like 47. Don't worry about the wind chill. The key factor is that we are able to stay above the freezing mark. And coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to talk about what's going to happen, because watch the colors change. We're going to get a little wintry mix. Why will it not stick around? Well, that number staying above 32 is a key factor, Tanya. So we'll run through our snow. That's right. I said snow, 2nd of December. We'll see some of it here early Thursday morning. And then after that, because the ground will be so warm, we can let it go.
Let it go. Fine by me.
Can I peel back the curtain?
Sure.
So while I was doing weather, folks, Tanya sprinted over behind her, grabbed my favorite Frozen set, and brought it to me. So thank you very much. That was well played by you.
I still owe you a Frozen DVD. That's another story.
That is it. In the words of the Wizard of Oz, that's a horse of a different color.
Oh, yes. All right. Thanks, Michael. Well, President Trump continues to fight the outcome of the 2020 presidential election. He also appears to be preparing to run again in 2024. This comes as President-elect Joe Biden focuses on the economy, which has been decimated by the coronavirus pandemic. Skyler Henry has the latest from Wilmington, Delaware.
We love you, President!
President Trump greeted supporters at a White House Christmas party and hinted at plans to run again if he continues to lose court cases challenging the election.
It's been an amazing 4 years. We're trying to do another 4 years, otherwise I'll see you in 4 years.
This comes as Attorney General William Barr told the Associated Press that so far, the Department of Justice has not seen fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the election. The DOJ is also looking into possible criminal activity surrounding presidential pardons. Heavily redacted court documents show the investigation centers around a possible secret lobbying scheme in which certain people are alleged to have acted as lobbyists to senior White House officials to secure a pardon or reprieve of sentence. A justice official tells CBS News no government official is a target of the investigation. President-elect Joe Biden is focused on the economy today, holding a virtual roundtable with workers and small business owners who are struggling financially during the coronavirus pandemic.
Help is on the way.
Tuesday, the president-elect introduced his economic team and called on Congress to act now on another stimulus package.
Right now, the full Congress should come together and pass a robust package for relief to address these urgent needs. But any package passed in a lame duck session is likely to be at best just a start.
But while both sides say another bill is necessary, Democrats and Republicans can't agree on how much money is needed. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Well, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell introduced his own plan Tuesday, which would spend $500 billion in what he calls targeted relief. Democrats say that doesn't go far enough and are sticking with their broader $2 trillion package. McConnell also rejected a proposal from a bipartisan group of senators to split the difference with a $908 billion plan. The United Kingdom has approved the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine, jumping ahead of the U.S. to become the first country in the world to give the green light. It's expected to start rolling out to the elderly in Britain next week. And studies show the shot developed by Pfizer and the German firm BioNTech is 95% effective and works in all age groups. Well, the U.S. isn't far behind. 2 vaccines are awaiting FDA approval, which are expected this month. The CDC says the first doses of the COVID vaccines will be given to healthcare workers and people living in nursing homes. That means as many as 20 million Americans could begin getting shots just 2 weeks from now on December 15th. Well, the pandemic has changed almost every aspect of life, and that has many people leaning on an old tradition for a sense of normalcy: holiday trees. Christmas tree farms nationwide are reporting a boost in business. In a recent survey, 21% of people said they were more likely to buy a real Christmas tree this year after having an artificial one last year or no tree at all. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, waiting in the wings.
Costumes help bring Broadway's biggest shows to life. But now the curtains are down until next year. I'm Michael George with how hundreds of workers are coping with an uncertain future.
And later, the perfect one-pot meal for these chilly winter evenings. We're making a skillet sausage and cabbage in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. And while some industries have found ways to work during the pandemic, on Broadway, the curtains are still down. Michael George shows us how hundreds of costume makers are trying to survive while volunteering to help in the fight against COVID.
They're the ones who make the costumes that bring your favorite Broadway characters to life. And right now, they're in crisis.
It's been super stressful, the most stressful time of my career.
Sarah Timberlake runs a costume shop in New York's Garment District. She's worked on some of Broadway's biggest shows, including The Lion King and Book of Mormon. But with Broadway shut down for more than 8 months and no return in sight, Sarah says she's lost 95% of her business.
We're bleeding money, and I'm just trying to make sure that my people are able to put food on the table.
While many industries have found some way to continue operating during the lockdowns, live theater just isn't possible.
We were the first ones to shut down. We'll be the last ones to reopen.
Costume maker John Christensen and his partners started the Costume Industry Coalition to ask for more government aid.
At this point, we're just racking up debt towards the business expenses that we can't get out of during this time.
Shows won't return to Broadway until at least May 2021. But a group of costume workers decided they can't just sit and wait for the curtains to rise again. On Broadway, the show must go on. Hundreds of costume makers have turned their skills to making PPE for healthcare workers. It doesn't pay the bills, but it does help save lives.
We have to help each other, and you know, if I've been able to help someone now, I hope someone will help me in the future.
For now, these artisans are hanging on by a thread, waiting for the bright lights of Broadway to shine again. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, the shutdown on Broadway will also have a huge impact on the U.S. economy. Last season, the theater industry brought in $1.8 billion in revenue. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Have you ever noticed that as the weather gets cooler, we start to crave more and more comfort foods? If so, stick around. because today's recipe is comfort at its best.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
The rain now upon us as it works in from the south. Been training that Gulf moisture all day long. As a matter of fact, the precipitable water that we do have has worked all the way from the Yucatan Peninsula down in Mexico up through Houston, DFW, and now is upon us. Still seeing the heavier rain just to the south of our highlighted counties. Thank goodness we're not in the mess that they have out here right on the state line. But we are picking up heavy rain. This coming down about half an inch per hour. And we're also seeing it begin to make its way into northeast Oklahoma. Sweeping radar not picking up much in the central portion. I just walked outside. A little sprinkle here at the mothership. And really our northern county is going to be able to stay dry for most of the day. But we give you a 3-hour loop here, show you how it has slowly moved up. Look at this out here. Got some storm reports coming in. Out here on the Panhandle, they're already pushing up to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of snow. Now, we're not going to see anything like that today, and here's why. Our temperatures anywhere from 50 in Pittsburgh and Fort Scott, 45 in Neosho, 41 in Welch. So the nice thing is we've been able to stay above that freezing point. Our ground not going to be able to hold a whole lot of the snow, even when it does flip over early Thursday morning, and wind chills certainly not too bad considering we're at the 2nd of December. Here's that line I was talking about that worked out of Mexico. It's been rather impressive. Kind of two different systems that we're looking at here as far as the U.S. goes. Number one, we've had that low pressure system up here in the northeast. Number two, ours is almost the cutoff right there. Now, cutoff means it's not going to have a whole lot of movement to it as far as west-east goes. And ours actually will progress here by the time we get into Thursday. But when we talk about precipitation measurements, kind of want to take a good view of this. Look how dry it is in between these two systems and on the backside of it as well. It's just kind of us and the northeastern portion of the United States. Now, right now, we're sitting anywhere from about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch down south. That's all we've seen so far since midnight. But that's going to change. We'll get up to about 3/4 to 1.5 inches of total accumulation here by the time we're done. And that one system that just was a slow mover, look at this. It's already packing anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches throughout portions of the northeast. But once again, just found it very interesting that in between all that, just stays completely dry in the contiguous 48. Let's get into future track, talk about our afternoon, nighttime, and tomorrow morning. Rain's going to be able to penetrate up to the north here. That's late tonight, staying as rain. Now early Thursday, that's when we see the flip over. So light snow, but remember, because those temperatures do stay above that 32-degree mark, we're not going to see a whole lot be able to accumulate on our roadways. Probably going to be some big wet flakes. They're going to melt when they hit. And so what's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to be wet. Want everybody to be careful, but not going to have to worry about icy conditions by any means. Not going to have to worry about a whole lot of accumulation snowfall-wise. And then lock in, going to flip back into rain, a chilly Thursday, and then sunshine for the rest of the 7-day forecast.
All right, looking forward to that. Sunshine is always good in the winter.
We'll take that for early December.
All right, we take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Captain Randall Cameron in the U.S. Army. The soldier lives in Junction City now, and he served several tours in Iraq from 2003 to 2010. To Captain Randall Cameron, we thank you, our four-state hero. Even the pickiest members of your family won't be able to resist today's classic recipe. Howard shows us how to make skillet, sausage, and cabbage, the perfect fill-you-up one-pot meal in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Have you ever noticed that as the weather gets cooler, our tastes start to change? All of a sudden, we start craving soups and stews and one-pots that'll warm us up from the inside out. And when it's something that can come together in just minutes, all the better. So what do you say we whip up a fast favorite that delivers comfort in every bite? We start by sauteing some kielbasa or smoked sausage until it's browned. Once it is, we remove it to a plate. And in the same skillet, we saute some peppers and onions just long enough for them to get tender. At this point, we toss in some chopped cabbage and let it cook for a few more minutes. Then we add our sausage back in, along with some chicken broth, caraway seeds, and a bit of salt and pepper. While this simmers and everything gets nice and tender, it's time to call the troops to the table. See, I told you this dish had comfort written all over it. Between the sausage and all the veggies, this one is sure to fill you up. To get the recipe for this one-pan wonder, all you have to do is go to our website and look for skillet sausage and cabbage. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a warm and comforting way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Looks good. Here's a look at today's 4-state market prices. The KOAM TV Toy Box campaign is underway, and we need your help to make it a Merry Christmas for all 4-state children.
So we're asking our viewers to donate new unwrapped toys or donate money that will be used to buy toys. Toys are going to go to distribution centers around the 4 states. Families then have a chance to shop for children on their list, making sure every child has a present on Christmas morning. And if you'd like to help, Tanya's going to tell us a couple of ways.
Well, you can drop off your new unwrapped toy at our stations in Joplin at 7th and Range Line, or at our main studios south of Pittsburgh on Highway 69. Or you can make a donation with a credit card during our Toy Box Tuesday telethons during our noon, 5, and 6 newscasts on the next 2 Tuesdays. Or you can donate online at KOAMnewsnow.com or on our KOAM News app.
Let's fast forward through Future Track, where our rain continues all the way from Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Anything we do see flip over, hey, good thing is we stay above the freezing point, so limited travel impacts for Thursday morning. Just be safe out there. Also, too, want to point out that Joe Batasso named the Missouri Southern interim head football coach. Joe, of course, a Joplin High School graduate and graduate of Missouri Southern where he played. And our own Jacob Leonard has sound from former head coach Jeff Sims coming up tonight at 6. Now, a look at what's coming up tonight at 5. Here's Dow.
Well, we're going to look at the impact that 9 months of lockdown is having on the mental health of our children. In Health Watch, what experts say you can do to keep your kids positive during the winter months. Plus, some Pitt State students see extra cash after the university distributes CARES Act funds. We'll explain. And the Joplin City Council lays out 6 goals for the city to achieve, including appearance. So join us for those stories, a lot more. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.